Hello everybody, my name is Thurps, and I just wanted to make a quick video for Unibear Panic in Paradise, one of my favorite games of all time. I just wanted to make a quick Unibear guide. Some people seem to have some issues finding him, and he can be a great way to collect some extra points, get up there on their leaderboards a little bit. So I figured I'd make this guide and just share it. If you're stumbling across this video on YouTube, feel free to give a like, but you don't got to subscribe or anything because I don't really make content. I just wanted to throw this out there. So if you end up playing this game and there's not a lot of guides out there, so I figured I'd make this guide. Maybe this guide will help you down the road. But we will go ahead and just get into it. And we'll go ahead and just get started. And first of all, I just wanted to show you I'm number one on the leaderboards currently on Xbox. On PS3, I'm not, but that's another story. Still working on that. And we'll go ahead and just get into Paradise Resort Lobby. Now, for finding Unibear on these bigger levels, it can be a little more difficult. I find that you want to find a center location for finding him. So Unibear will sometimes appear right here, right where that guy's standing, right in the center here. Other times he'll appear down there in the garden where you started the level. He will oftentimes appear over here in this alley right here. And every now and again, once or twice, I've seen him spawn over here on the docks over by those grills and the speakers. And then a lot of times he will spawn straight ahead over there to the left. Normally on other levels, there's guards standing over there. So down there in the garden where you started, you can see the gardeners working. You can see there's two dots. So you want to utilize the map a lot of times so you can watch all locations at the same time. So down there in the garden, we see there's two dots. Right now we see there's no dots on the outside of that other wall, and there's no dots over there by the grills and by the speakers right behind me. So we would be able to tell if a dot popped up from here. It would be a solid dot, but as you can see in the garden, the dots are smaller on the map. But what we're going to do in this situation, for this particular level that happens this time, is watch that guy in the black shirt right there. He is walking over there by himself, so he's just one dot. And then he turned into a small dot because he's so far away. So this actually is a good example of how it could be difficult to keep track of them when they're small dots. Because when they're small like that, if they're near each other, you won't be able to differentiate if there's two dots or one dot's right on top of each other. So watch that dot closely. As you can see, there's now two dots there. And that's a dead giveaway. I just now realized there was two dots there. So and there's confirmation that there he is standing right there. So we'll go ahead and try this level again and see if he shows up in one of the other locations. Sometimes I've noticed when I'm playing this game and quitting the level and coming right back in, he will seem to spawn in the same spots sometimes a couple times in a row. So I went ahead and just punched that guy just to throw him off his normal usual route, as he may have started walking over there again. So now we're just keeping an eye on the garden. Of course the main target's down there and his dot's way bigger, so it's going to be even harder down there when there's small dots. But we know there's nothing behind us, we know there's nothing on the grills behind us, and we know there's nothing over there to the left where he spawned last time. So let's keep an eye on the map and see if we see any new dots pop up. And a lot of times you just got to be patient. Wait for it. 3, 2, 1. Boom. And there he is. So new dot popped up. We immediately know it's him. Once again, on the bigger levels, this is going to be harder. But on the smaller levels, it's really easy to watch all the dots. And fun fact, Naughty Bear's eyes and nose change color per level. So next we'll get into Seaside Greenhouse.
I don't think...
This one's a very easy level. I've only seen him spawn in 2 locations on this level. He's either going to spawn right over here to the right or over there to the left by that fire pit over there, or 99% of the time he spawns right here, where I'm looking at straight ahead over there in that corner. So what I do is I just stay right here, and as you can see, there's not a lot of people on this level. There's not a lot of dots, and like I said, I've only seen him spawn in 2 locations. So this one, you only really got to watch over in this location, and then you got to watch for a dot over to the left if he spawns over by that fire pit. But like I said, 99% of the time, he is going to spawn straight ahead where I'm looking. That's why I'm looking there. You just have to be patient because, like I said, he does take some time on some levels. But if you notice when you get Naughty Bear, at first when you get him and you see him, he will give you 25,000 roughly. And then, of course, when you kill him, he will give you roughly another 25,000 or so. Sometimes it varies. And you see here, so there's 25,000 off the jump just from hitting him. And then you can see his eyes are black on this level. And I'm just going to walk over here and kill him again. And watch the points. Watch my score. Goes from 25 to 40. Okay, so about 15 or so. It looked like it was going up again. And of course you get more the more people that see him do that. So we'll just jump into this level. Once again, a small level. This one's very easy. He can either spawn directly to the left over here in that little patch by the temple. He will spawn over there by the fire pit over in the corner. And sometimes he will spawn directly inside the house here. Or he will spawn right over there on that door on the other side of the house. So this is kind of the perfect spot to watch. You can watch over there by the fire pit. You can kind of look through the window here. And then, of course, if a dot appears behind you on the map, it's going to be the only dot over there. Since there's nobody really on this level, there's no dots over there. Even on the later levels when there's more characters on this level, it's still easy to find out that he's a dot. Standing over there by himself. And one other location I've seen him spawn, actually the first time I ever saw him spawn at this location was making this video right here. I've never really seen him spawn to the right of this, right where you start the level. But in this situation, he actually did. And I think it may have something to do with how far you are away from his spawn point. Because like I said, usually I'm used to seeing him spawn over here by this fire pit. But in this specific situation, he didn't for a while. And if it's been about 2 or 3 minutes, maybe go run around if you haven't seen him spawn. Just to see if he does pull off one of his random spawn locations. But most of the time, he has a set location. As you can see on the map, the dot just appeared up there in the top right at the starting location. And about here is when I realized it. Wait a minute. There he is. So, never seen him over here before, but apparently it is one of his spawn locations. And it could be because I was on the other side of the map at the time. But we'll go ahead and restart this level again, just to show you another example. And once again, you just want to kind of try and find that perfect spot where you can look through the window, see the other door, see the fire pit, and be able to see a dot behind you. And of course, if he appears to the right again, you'll be able to see a dot over there because there's not really anybody over there. And typically, if Unibear doesn't spawn within the first 4 or 5 minutes of the level, I'll just go ahead and restart. Because maybe I missed him. Maybe he was at one of those one-off locations. But most of these levels have a decent way to see him when he does spawn. So, we're just going to keep watching the map, seeing if any new dots pop up behind us or to the right. We're also going to be keeping an eye on the fire pit over there. And then looking through the house to see if we see anything, if we see him walk through that door. But there he is. He just spawned over there by the fire pit. And of course, everybody hates you because I don't have a mask on. I'm just got this crazy outfit on. And we'll jump into the Dugar Temple next. And all these levels are the same. They have like 3 or 4 people. So a lot of these locations work. For all the other levels for everybody else, he will spawn in the same locations over and over again. Now for this one's once again easy, kind of medium. It is a bigger level, but there's not a lot of people on this level right now. He will spawn right in between those trees over there, right where there's a bear about to walk out. He will spawn right there in that area, or he will spawn all the way back at the very beginning, which that could be difficult because you see there is a dot over there. It's a small dot, so if another person, if he appears over there, it may be difficult to see him unless you could notice that the green line of vision that they have, unless you see 2 of them though over there. So right now I only see 1. I just see the main guy that was down there when I started the level. I know there was 3 guys in there when I started, so these first levels are easier, as you can see. Just keep an eye on the dots. There's not a lot of people. it does become a bit more of a challenge in the later levels when there's about 20 guys on this level. But once again, just keeping an eye out. And then, as you can see, he doesn't seem to be appearing over here. But because the main target of this level moved into the area right down there, it's now difficult to see if he appears down there. So I just did a quick run back to see if I see 2 dots down there along with the target. I don't. I ran back over here. I only see 3 dots on the map. I don't see any difference here, just to make sure he wasn't one of those 3 dots. And then, of course, as I'm running back, I see now there's 2 dots down here. So there he is. So, like I said, he either spawns right here at the beginning, or he'll spawn over there at the doorway to the castle, or whatever it may be. And it looks like he just had black guys on this level. And then Greasy's Garage, another small level, but this one can be a little more difficult. He can spawn. I've seen him spawn right here. I've seen him spawn inside the house right here. I've seen him spawn on the outside of the house to the left over there. But majority of the time, so see, I'm finding a center location. I can see all the dots. I'll be able to tell if a new dot pops up. But he does kind of spawn in the corner, so he'll spawn where I'm looking at now in that corner over there. He'll spawn over there in this corner. As you can see, there he is. He likes to spawn over there. Swing and a miss. And then, like I said, he likes to spawn down here by this frog. He will spawn down here a lot of times. And like I said, he likes to spawn in the house. And every now and again, I've seen him spawn right here. So this level's small. You can do a quick run around and keep running around the level to find him. Just make sure you're wearing a mask so they don't recognize you.
Naughty.
Fluffy, this is probably one of the worst levels. This level and the military level are the 2 worst levels to find Unibear. He will spawn right down here, right down where that other robot was standing, far away. He will spawn way down here, so it's really hard to get Unibear on this level. He'll spawn right here in this general area where that circle is, that circle of bags right here. He'll spawn right here. And then the other place I've seen him spawn is all the way down there by the temple. So, as you can see, even with a lot of stamina, it's hard to get Unibear on this level. You have to be quite lucky. And the other location I've seen him spawn at is, show you real quick. It's on the other side of that house where the phone is. So if you would to run left right here, he spawns right there as well. But as you can see, I see there's 3 dots down here as now. There he is. And unfortunately, just didn't make it. You know? So, this level and the military level, sometimes you got to replay the beginning a lot of times just to get him. For this side of Fiesta Docks, he likes to spawn right here. He also likes to spawn over there by the phone. He'll spawn, and then most often I've seen him spawn over here in the back corner by the trees over there in the back corner. So what I do on this level is I like to hide in this little grass patch right here, and so I can kind of see the dots. This one is kind of difficult, but you know there's 4 guys down here right now. But I thought there was only 2, and of course there he is right there spawning by the phone. So this one kind of difficult. This one gets really hard on the last level when you're fighting the general, because everybody hates you unless you take over, like you disguise yourself as an alien.
Fluffy thinks a doctor is going to.
So on this level's not that difficult. He likes to spawn mainly right here back in this corner, like 80% of the time. The other times he likes to spawn over here back in this corner with these guys. And then every now and again I've seen him spawn inside this house. or back at the very beginning where the exit doors, if you run straight through that house, through all those doors, he likes to spawn. But of course, he already spawned right here. As you can see, some levels he likes to spawn within instantly. He likes to spawn within a minute or two, and other levels he likes to spawn within 4 or 5 minutes.
Nibbles is using a.
So on this map, on the other side of the docks, sometimes he likes to spawn right here by these guys. So I like to call them to kind of alert them to start walking away, so I can keep track if I see a dot over there. Because once again, 99% of the time he will spawn over here on these docks. I've seen him spawn once over there by the dance floor. But this is another one of those times where 99% of the time he's going to spawn over there at the very end of the docks, straight where I'm looking ahead. This one does take a while. As you see, I'm speeding up the video a little bit. Because for some reason he just really likes to take a long time to spawn on this level. So mainly over there by the guys at the dock. Once again, they're all small dots, hard to watch. If you have some stamina, you can run back and forth a couple times. But just know, making the trip to the docks down here takes a lot of stamina. And Unibear only appears for like 10 seconds before you gotta grab him. And there he is. So I immediately take off and go grab him. And once again, depending on if you have a costume or not, there's a level on here where there's some pirates over here. And they don't really like anybody unless you dress as a pirate. So they'll kill you almost immediately when you try to go grab him.
It's well known that.
This level is probably my favorite level to utilize Unibear. And how I figured out how to utilize him the most. And so he likes to spawn over there by those 4 grills. Over by the fire pit. Not those 2 grills. He will spawn over by the 4 grills in a row over there. Sometimes he spawns on the dance floor. I've seen it once or twice. And he also likes to spawn right over there where the grass is by the temple. So from here, I just keep an eye on that location to see if I see any new dots coming up. And occasionally I'll look back over to the left to kind of look and see if he's spawning at those grills right there. So for this one, you just have to keep looking back and forth. Because the dots may be throwing you off a little bit just because of how many people are here. But I picked this level specifically with all the superheroes just because the way they're gathered. And I'll show you after I get him on this level what I like to do with the Unibear as much as possible. As you can see, a dot popped up over here. So there he is. And grab him on this level. Just take him on tour for a little bit. And of course, people have guns, so you gotta be careful on this one. Sometimes you just gotta be patient. You just gotta wait for the best scenario to utilize Unibear. It's not always best to just run in, grab him, and kill him and get the points. Because you can really set the motion for the level to make it way easier on yourself if you utilize him to make him explode in front of everybody else, because when you do that, it really knocks their points down and it makes them go crazier faster. So the more people that you can get them to witness him do that, the more people that will go insane faster, which therefore makes the level easier for you. So you don't have to worry about it. You know, if people got guns and stuff, if they go crazy, they may not shoot you if they're going crazy. And I just wanted to show you a quick little thing here. If you actually stick him right outside of the bush where you're not losing stamina, just where he's sticking out a little bit, people could still see him and see an insane friend. So they can't see me, but they can still see him hanging out. And of course, the game glitched and threw me back in the bush a little bit. But you can see that big group of people standing over there. And this was a very crazy play right here. So you want to, as soon as somebody sees you, like this, you want to pop it immediately. Boom! See that gunshot? That was crazy. You got to watch that again in slow-mo. This is some Neo Matrix stuff. I don't know how I pulled this off. Boom. That was so awesome. But see, all those people just saw Unibear do that. So now you just hit them with some boos. And if you got the super boo, it's almost instant insanity for anybody who saw that. Throw a couple punches in there through the wall. Just to take some more points off of them. But then watch. As soon as I start throwing in the super boos, Boom. And then we got a whole bunch of people that are already insane. They're gonna run around. Everybody's gonna see them insane. And then pretty much everybody that just saw Unibear explode is now pretty much insane. Those last two guys aren't. But as you watch, once you go through all the boos and they're not getting any points, if you do a boo real quick and then you run out, you can get one last scare in on them. So, boom, run out, boom, 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 scared them both. Now they're both insane. So half the level's already insane, and I literally just started. So see, that guy wasn't insane, but he saw somebody insane, and now he's insane. So, and I just wanted to show you examples. So here's Naughty when he's naked. Of course, I'm level 100. But let me show you what the boos are like. So just the standard boo starts out with 480 when you're naked. And this is me with like 100 insanity, I think, because I'm level 100. And then it'll start out at 400 and it'll end at 84. So once you remove all the points from somebody, that's when they go insane. When they've already seen too much stuff, they've seen broken stuff, they've heard smashes, they've seen injured people. Once they run out of points, that's when they go insane. So here it is with my crazy outfit again. So I'm going to go ahead and hit him with the boos again. It started at 400 last time. Now it started at 720. Then 360. That's already 1,000 points in. These last two don't really matter very much. As you can see, it kind of glitched out. You got to run away sometimes. Come back. I could have hit him with the super boo and changed it. But it ends on 126, so that's a lot of points comparison when you have high insanity. So
we could sneak up.
the resort for war heroes, once again, this is a hard level because it's so big, and I don't have the Cuddles mask on, but I don't think they recognize you anyways with the Cuddles mask on. So sometimes it's better to just grab one of them and steal their outfit, or come into the level already dressed as one of the soldiers. But Unibear does like to spawn over there by the fire pit right here. He likes to spawn here often. Sometimes he'll spawn right over there to the left by those speakers and just walk within that general area right here. As you can see, I'm just going to steal an outfit so nobody recognizes me, so I can run back and forth. Because the other major location I've seen him spawn is over here back behind this house. So sometimes he'll spawn right here behind this house. So as you can see, it's another one of those big levels. Hard to watch the dots. But the general center location is right here in this grass patch, so you can kind of watch the dots behind the house. You can watch if he spawns by this fire pit, or you can watch to see if he spawns over there to the left by those speakers. Those are the three main places I've seen him spawn. Once again, sometimes he'll spawn instantly, and it's a mad dash to go get him. And other times he'll take a minute or two to spawn. So it's just kind of one of those things where you got to run back and forth and just keep checking. Or you can kind of, like I said, sit in this grass patch and watch the fire pit over here, or watch over there behind the house to see if a new dot pops up. But that's about it. As you can see, he's taking some time on this one. I'm trying to watch the three dots down there on the map to see if a fourth dot pops up. Obviously, we're close enough to see if he pops up right here, or would hear it or see it. So you can run over here and kind of just go a quick glance through this house, but of course both of the guys are on the left over here, so I couldn't see them. So it's kind of a waiting game, but at the same time, sometimes it's a running game, and sometimes you just get lucky, and sometimes you don't, as you saw on the robot level where I just didn't have time to grab him. And then if you want to restart and try again, just make sure you don't hit the restart button, because hitting restart is sometimes what causes a black screen of death. When you want to exit a level, you want to make sure that you go to quit, go all the way back out to the menu, and then reinitiate the level from there, from the main menu. There he is with white eyes on this level. So as you can see, he spawned behind the house this time, not over by the fire pit or anything. But once again, this is one of those big levels where he's hard to find. But that's pretty much it. That was my Unibear guide for all the levels. Like I said, it doesn't matter who you're fighting or what character you're on. A lot of times he'll spawn in all those locations I mentioned. So just keep running, watching those locations. Give it about 4 or 5 minutes. If you don't see him, then quit the level, go back into the level and try again. For the smaller levels, it's very easy, but for those bigger levels, it can be difficult. So I hope this guide helped you out, and leave some questions in the comments if you want to. If not, jump over to the subreddit Naughty Bear. I'm over there posting game clips sometimes, screenshots of my high score challenge, things like that. There's other people in the community that are over there doing things. So feel free to drop in, say what's up, ask a question, or leave some comments here on YouTube. And I appreciate it. Thank you so much.